All right. Hi, everybody. Dr. Arafat from Vet Triage. It is late, 10:18 p.m. East Coast time and 7:18 p.m. Pacific time. And here we are. I'm still in St. Louis, Missouri. Very tiring, of course. You can see I'm sleepy, but it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. So good exposure to our veterinary colleagues out there for Vet Triage. It's awesome. Anyway, the live stream looks like it may have just restarted, as is the mo for YouTube. So maybe in case that first part didn't get recorded, let's start again. I'm Dr. Arafat, Vet Triage. It is September 9th, Monday, 9:18 p.m. In St. Louis, Missouri, and 10:18 p.m. East Coast and 7:18 p.m. Pacific time. I'm in St. Louis for the conference. Tired, as you can see, but it's worth it because we're getting more exposure to our veterinary colleagues about Vet Triage. So life hacks on traveling with your pet. Here are some brief tips on it. Folks are traveling with their pets more and more these days, not just by car, of course, but by plane. And there's some things you should know about it. First of all, and this is not any kind of order of importance, but first of all, medication. So if your pet is on chronic long-term medication or medications, make sure to have enough that'll last the duration of your trip, your travel, and have some left over in case, let's say, the insulin expires or the pills get lost somewhere or whatever it may be. You want to have enough. Otherwise, if you don't have enough medication for your pet while you travel, then you're stuck going to the emergency hospital. And if you go to the emergency hospital, that means you're going to be spending a lot more money to try and get refills that they don't have to give you if they don't want to. And also, you might be waiting hours because your pet is not sick. You're just there for medication refill due to bad planning. And the sicker animals, of course, will get priority. They'll be triaged first. So have enough medication to last your entire trip and a little bit more, just in case. So that's number one. Number two, make sure your pet knows how to travel. And that's both for the socialization aspect of travel with other people, maybe other animals, but really more so other people of all ages. Make sure they are used to um, being around loud noises. There's a lot of chaos in airports, for example. Make sure they don't get car sick or sick by plane. If they do, then figure out ways to acclimate. And we can always talk about that in another live stream. Figure out if they need sedation for flying or for driving, whether it be because of motion sickness or because of lack of socialization, whatever it is. So have medication on board in their system and with you in case you need to give them something for motion sickness or nausea. So that's tip number two. Tip number three, when traveling with your pet, make sure you map out emergency hospitals. So Vet Triage is fantastic because it is virtual, it's mobile. You can access Vet Triage any day, anytime. Talk to a veterinarian. In the event of an emergency, where Vet Triage veterinarians are concerned about an emergency, or perhaps it's an obvious emergency, and you have to go to the ER, make sure you go to a location and you're traveling somewhere that has emergency veterinary hospitals, at least within driving distance, because an emergency, every minute matters. So map it out ahead of time. Know that wherever you go, there's at least somewhere you can access veterinary care in person. Otherwise, of course, Vet Triage is there, especially for those that are non-emergencies or for those that you're not sure if they are emergencies. vettriage.com. So that's number three. Let's see. Number four, make sure your pet doesn't have any medical conditions that precludes them from traveling. So, for example, there are some neurologic disorders that aren't good, that make some pets not good candidates to fly in an airplane. For example, perhaps recent surgery, depending on the surgery, maybe it's not the right time to fly with your pet. So make sure there's no medical conditions. If your pet has heart disease and is prone to arrhythmias, maybe all that excitement with a chaotic airline is not the way to go, right? So make sure your pet can actually handle the travel in terms of their medication. If they're going to be cramped up in a crate for 6 hours on an airplane, and they have arthritis. You're going to have a pretty stiff dog in pain when you land, when you get to your destination. So make sure that medically speaking, your pet can handle travel. And of course, that's by talking to a veterinarian, either on Vet Triage or your family veterinarian. Let's see. And then I guess final piece of advice. I have lots more that I can think of, but the final one is make sure you have your pet adequately labeled. Microchip is the best, right? So for those who aren't familiar with microchips, it's a small chip that's injected under the skin, and it's not surgery. There's no incision. They usually do it at the time of like spaying or neutering your pet. And when you use a scanner that hospitals have, clinics have, rescues have, shelters have them, it'll read the microchip. If your dog or a cat goes missing and somebody finds them, they'll scan the microchip and it'll say that the microchip belongs to this person. Here's their contact information. So make sure when you do the microchip that you also register it under the company that you are purchasing the microchip from, and that way in their database or whatever, they can locate you in the event that your pet goes missing. So microchipping. You can also make sure you have an ID collar. Obviously, an ID collar can be taken off or lost, tear off or whatever. So if somebody stole your pet while you're on vacation, while you're traveling, then they could remove the cone, the collar rather, and so that also is a concern. But it's another form of identification. So make sure you can ID your pet, or someone can ID your pet if they get lost. Have your phone number available, all that stuff, and then of course there's lots of like Facebook groups and things where people post on there that their pet is missing. So yeah, I think that's probably a good place to stop. Those are some helpful hints. Hopefully, folks enjoy this in the playback. Thanks to the 2 people who did attend. Wonderful, thank you, appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow, Tuesday, September 10th. I'm pretty sure we'll talk tomorrow. There's a chance I may miss tomorrow and have a talk on 9/11, but we'll see how travel goes tomorrow with the conference and everything. If I can leave town early, we'll see. All right, I'll talk to you guys then. Bye-bye. Bye.